Hey everyone, and welcome to another Author Spotlight interview. I'm your host, Mike Wolf, and with us today is Jim Overstreet, author of The Canadian Horse. Hey Jim, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, do you have a background in rodeo or horses? What inspired you to create this novel?
I do. I grew up on a ranch, a large ranch in southwestern Montana, and I got involved in rodeo at an early age. My dad supported me in that, and so it just when I started writing, it seemed natural to write about what I knew.
Did you compete in the rodeo?
Yes, I was mostly a calf roper, although I did ride some saddle broncs, and I did other team roping as well.
Oh, I mean, you ever had any major? I know there's a lot of injuries in that sport. Have you ever had any major injuries?
Oh, I tore up my knee once, and everything else just pretty much wore out.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you come up with the idea for this novel and put the whole story together? And how long did it take you to create this story?
You know, the this is book 4 in my series, and it took me a long time to get the series put together. It took me 25 or 30 years to write the first volume. The second volume and the third I wrote in 6 months apiece each, and then this one took me about a year to write. I don't know when I liked my characters, and when I finished the first one, I just kept writing.
Okay. And this novel begins with the theft of a horse, but it grows obviously into a much larger story about family, loyalty, moral choice. What inspired you to start with the theft of a horse? Have you ever experienced that, or?
No, not really. And I was trying to think about where my idea came from. When your creative ideas sometimes sneak up on you in the night, so it's hard to remember exactly. But I had a fellow that I knew who was a lot like the character CR who steals the horse, and I was trying to think about how to work him into the story. And he had taken a horse, and he was supposed to be training, and sold him. And I was thinking about that, and then when I was going to a lot of senior rodeos, I went to Canada quite a bit, and the Canadian Senior Rodeo Finals is in Claresholm, Alberta, which is where he steals his horse. So I kind of knew the layout, and it just sort of fit together for me. And the creative process is a little hard to follow sometimes.
Would you say CR is your bad guy or your antagonist of your story?
He's kind of the antagonist. I mean, he's certainly not a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's not totally without good characteristics. I mean, he's a little bit rounded. I don't know why. Over the years, I've known several people that were sort of morally similar, that would do anything they could get by with.
Yeah.
But he's cagey enough to figure out what he can and can't get by with most of the time.
So have you used your experiences in life and people you've met at various rodeos and to create these characters, naturally?
Yes, there's none of my characters are modeled after anyone in particular, but they are all compendium. They're all people who would do these things if they were real.
Okay. And tell us about Rusty Blackstone.
Rusty has always been kind of the center of this series. He started out as the hired man's kid on a big ranch, and he was a little small for his age, but he was blessed with extremely quick reflexes. And so his story arc through the whole thing has been that he's just gotten to be a very successful steer wrestler. He's too small to be a steer wrestler, but he he lifted weights. He did what he had to do, and he's got that whatever it takes. And then he's a pretty good guy. He's almost so good that he doesn't make a very interesting character.
I hear you. And how about Amanda?
Well, uh, Amanda's really a good person, and when she showed up in book one, she was newly divorced and kind of battered a little bit, not physically battered, but just sort of beaten down. And when she and Rusty sort of made all that a lot better, and the strength her character comes out more in each novel.
Okay. And other character, Buckshot. Now, what's his role in this?
Well, Buckshot is a 6 foot tall woman, and I originally thought of her. The ranch, that's the Westmont Ranch, which is a big part of this, needed another hired man, and so this woman came and applied for the job. And one of the reasons I wanted her is because there's kind of a misogynist ranch foreman there, and I wanted her to punch him. And I forget which novel it's in. She did, and then she's a kind of a good person, and she'll work in the field. She'll go out and rope cattle to doctor out in the pasture, or she'll take care of the owner's son. So I just like her, I guess.
Okay. I mean, I'm an actor myself. Now, could you see these stories being turned into a film or a TV show?
Sure. I think they'd make. There's the books have got a lot of stuff in them, and I don't know that you could. I think it'd be hard to whittle it down to one movie, but I think they'd make a great miniseries or something.
Definitely.
I mean, that's probably my ego talking, but.
And tell us about Casey Jones.
Casey is a big Texan. He tried to play pro football and didn't quite make it, and but he grew up his father was a steer wrestler and he was a steer wrestler in Texas, and somewhere along the line I didn't show him meeting, but he and Rusty got to be friends, and they started traveling together, and much to the benefit of both of them, really. And Casey's a good guy. He's always shy. He's even his cousin, who also travels with him, has remarked that he's never had a girlfriend or anything. So when he and Buckshot take up together, why it's something new for Casey. And Casey's a big, strong guy. He never figured to be a world champion steer wrestler, although in the end of this book he gets to be one. But he has very little ego, and
I don't know Rodeo myself, but is there any advantage if Casey's a bigger guy and Rusty's a smaller guy? Is there any advantage being bigger or smaller? Does it help either way?
Oh, in steer wrestling, they're almost all big guys. I mean, I forget now. I think Casey is 6'4" and weighs 230 pounds, and there are quite a few of those guys in professional steer wrestling. Rusty, who has been a champion steer wrestler, is 5'10" and weighs about 190, which is on the small side. He's got such good reflexes. He gets a little more out of it than maybe a lot of guys his size. But
what was your weight and height when you competed?
I weigh depend on how good I was eating those days, but I stood 6 foot tall and weighed about 160 pounds at my best.
Okay.
But I was twisted pretty tight.
People who don't know Rodeo, everyone hears this 8 seconds. Is 8 seconds truly a benchmark, or is it different on different kinds of steer? How does that work?
Well, in the rough stock events, 8 seconds is how long the rides last.
Okay.
The scored part of the ride lasts. In the other events, it's all timed. So in steer wrestling, if you make a run of 4.5 seconds, 4.5 seconds, and then someone else, if someone does it faster or slower, it tells you where you are. And the same with all the timed events, from barrel racing clear to calf roping.
Okay. And then another character, Warren Weston, his story deals with inheritance, family pride, letting go of old beliefs. Tell us about him.
in the beginning, Warren was a spoiled rich kid. His parents owned the big ranch where Rusty's dad worked, and he was big for his age, and everything kind of came easy for him. And then through a lot of sort of traumatic, he took up steer wrestling, partly because there was a guy Harlan who worked on the ranch there was available to teach him, and that led into Rusty being a steer wrestler too. And anyway, Warren has been through the mill. He grew up believing that he was kind of an aristocrat, and when he got in rodeo, he found out that he not only had to be good and a decent guy, he couldn't do that. He also found out that he couldn't rodeo full time and take care of his life at home. And
Okay. Now you mentioned Harlan. Tell us about Harlan and his scenes with Todd.
well, Harlan is an old rancher in his 70s, and he likes Todd because he liked his dad, and Todd, he works on the ranch part-time. He's retired, and he's just got a lot of patience. And throughout the book and throughout the whole series, he shows up with a lot of wisdom when he needs to.
Awesome. And tell us about the women in the novel. Women are obviously a pivotal part of this novel. Tough, funny, practical. How did you kind of shape them into the story?
You know, I don't know. I don't think about shaping them so much as they sort of happen once I get them started.
Yeah.
But most of the women in my life and growing up in Montana, most of the women were pretty strong. You know, I think it went back to the homestead days when ranchers had to be tough and they had to have some support from their wife, and sometimes she had to do things that maybe most women wouldn't like to do, but she did them because they needed to be done, and that tradition really continues. In now it may be more in supporting in the house or doing book work, but lots of women ranchers ride and rope and even compete in rodeo.
All right. Now, because of your knowledge in rodeo, the scenes are highly detailed. They're very technically accurate. So when you're watching TV or movies and they have a rodeo scene, are you quick to pick out the errors that the productions have made?
Well, it isn't usually if I'm watching a fiction, a television show or a movie or something, I am. I mean, I can't help it. But when I'm watching like a rodeo, a real rodeo on TV, I just find it all very interesting because there's a lot of little different techniques, and I've been around it enough that I can usually see them. And sometimes I have to see them on the replay, but I find it all that very interesting in some detail.
Okay, and I'm curious, do you have a favorite Western movie you've watched in the past whatever years that you really like the way they portrayed rodeo? Do you have a favorite film?
I do, but I'm going blank on the name of it right now, and it isn't a rodeo picture.
That's okay. It's probably a Western, though, right?
It is a Western.
Do you watch old Westerns?
You know, I watch very little television.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Partly because I live out in the country, and years ago we got to where we didn't have very good television reception, and now of course you can stream and everything. I just got out of the habit of doing it, and then when I'm trying to write, it just takes a lot of time.
You're not missing much, I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not much good TV anymore anyway, but so let's get into a little more about the novel contains, a lot of humor during tense situations. Are you someone who uses kind of humor to break up tense situations in your naturally in your life, or?
I think I do. I have to be careful with it. I think I do use a little humor, and I think most of the humor in my book is fairly subtle. Some of it's kind of blatant. I think, and I don't remember which book it's in, but I have Rusty and his sister Ruby talking on the phone, and they're teasing one another back and forth, and that's supposed to be funny, obviously. But there's other things that where little things happen, and it's enough inside sometimes. I worry that some of my readers that are not really familiar with ranching and rodeo might not get it. But I've had some people tell me they really enjoyed the humor in my books, and it isn't something I think about. It just sort of works in some.
When my wife's in a tense mood, I try to throw a little humor at her. It usually doesn't work out very well for me.
I see. I think that's a common thing.
Yeah. So let me ask you, as far as the Blood series goes, do you have more to write?
I actually have 5 books that are in print, and I'm working on the 6th one. I'm probably somewhere between a half and 2/3 done with it. It's taken me over a year to get this far, and I'm a little embarrassed about it, but and I don't know if I'll do any more after that or not. We'll have to see. I have some other things in mind too.
Okay. Well, this book asks a powerful question about justice. What do we owe someone when the legal answer and moral answer are not exactly the same? How do you answer that?
You know, my character sort of waffled on that one in the end there when the guy who originally owned the horse showed up, and they'd paid big money for the horse. You know, that I don't know that there was a clear-cut answer. Buckshot kind of thought that they should just give him the horse, but he didn't really have that good a proof that it was his horse. So the others, and of course they needed him. So you know, morality isn't always black and white, and in this case, it was a little gray, and I left it gray. I don't know if that was fair or not, but I did.
That's all right. Hey, that's a great way to leave it. Let me ask you, so your book's available on Amazon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for my viewers watching, The Canadian Horse by Jim Overstreet, I'm going to have the link down below directly to the book on Amazon. So go ahead and grab that. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Jim, thank you so much for your time here. It's been great. It's been nice to learn a little bit about your background in rodeo, and I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Take care.